Hi everybody, welcome to KNS Biochemistry. I am Dr. K. Narayanasamy, Associate Professor of Biochemistry, Sri Narayanaguru College, Coimbatore. I welcome you all to this occasion. In this lockdown period, we are all able to manage the situation and we are doing well, especially talking to our own country. People are very good manner managing the situation and hope will come out of lockdown very successfully. So I hope so. Today in this video we are going to see about comparative genomics. Everyone will wonder about what is this comparative genomics. Some people will know something about genomics, but they do not know what is comparative genomes. So in this video, we are going to see about comparative genomics, what it is, then comparative genomics of viruses, comparative genomics of bacteria, subcellular organelles, and a comparative genomics of course, the eukaryotic organisms. Then finally, we are going to see about what is orthologous sequences and what is paralogous sequences. So all these things are coming under comparative genomics, and this comparative genomics has got enormous applications. Especially one specific application of this field is that phylogenetic analysis, that gives you phylogenetic tree genomic map. That will be highly useful for us if you understand what is this comparative genomics. What is this comparative genomics? It is a branch of genomics. This is going to deal about the genetic information, especially the genetic information of various organisms like prokaryotes, eukaryotes, in that plant and animal kingdom, everything about genetics. These genomic features are going to tell you something about the comparison of genetic information. These genomic features are differing from organism to organism, so that we can compare the genomic content of different variety of organisms or closely related organisms or very closely related organisms. So what kind of the things can be compared in comparative genomics? We can compare the features of DNA sequences of organisms, the gene sequences of organisms, then gene order, then regulatory sequences. What are these regulatory sequences? The sequences that helps in the DNA replication and transcription. So we can compare those things also. So the basic biological similarities and differences between the organisms, the evolutionary relationship between organisms can also be done by this comparative genomics. Phenotypic evolution is also very well done in this comparative genomics. What is this phenotypic evolution? It is nothing but population genetic studies. So this population genetic studies is highly useful to a population in order to know their evolutionary origin. For that also you can do comparative genomic study. So when you are going for a comparative genomic study, we have to understand about the two terms. Let us see what are those two terms. The two important terms, but what we have to understand in comparative genomics is that the first one, orthologous sequences. What are these orthologous sequences? The sequences that share a common ancestry. What is this common ancestry? Suppose a particular organism is there, it is having a gene sequence, and that is a particular species which exists in this earth, and due to some gene mutation or through evolution, two subspecies has developed from the original species. You are going to get two subspecies from the major, the parent species, and these subspecies will carry the genes of the parent, and it will have some small mutations or modifications, but still it carries the same functions of the parent genome. They are called orthologous sequences. The second term, what we have to understand is that paralogous sequences. What are these paralogous sequences? These sequences are separated by gene cloning. You know what is cloning? Taking a copy of a genome. Taking a copy of anything is called a clone. So, from a parent organism, a gene is cloned and it goes to the next generation, and it remains in that generation which comes from the parent, but at some time by small mutation which changes its attitude, or it slightly changes its function, that it will do a different function, but they have been cloned from the parents. They are called paralogous gene sequences, and these genes are called duplicated genes. These duplicated genes cloned from the parent. So one should understand what are these paralogous sequences and orthologous sequences. That these kind of sequences will be there in the population genetics, and these sequences always identified in the population study, where the closely related species in the population are having these kind of related orthologous and paralogous sequences. By analyzing these orthologous and paralogous sequences, one can compare the origin of a species, subspecies from a bigger population, and we can go for evolutionary studies, and from that evolutionary studies one can able to understand the exact origin of the today's species, from where it is originated, where it originated from during the old age period of the earth. All these things can be analyzed very well in this comparative genomics. And this comparative genomics has got enormous application, and that will be highly going to be useful in the society in the near future, especially in the 21st century. A lot of people are doing a lot of comparative genomics study today, especially life science people, then biology people, but zoology and botany people, then computer science and bioinformatics people, especially those who are entering into bioinformatics field. They are very much interested, and they are doing these kind of studies. And now we are going to see the history of this comparative genomics. In the history, in the 20th century, in the early 1980s, the comparative genomic study was started by so many people, and you see that in 1980s, at the beginning, first they started the comparison of genomic sequences of viruses. Of course, even today we are all panic about coronavirus, and you see that the coronavirus is genetically having closely related viruses, SARS virus like that. So how these people are going to compare this coronavirus that it is a family of SARS virus, or we have other viruses like hepatitis virus, in that you have closely related families. Influenza virus, that is also closely related to coronavirus. How is it possible to keep them in a group or a family? Only if you know the comparative genomic sequence of those viruses. That is what the Chinese people are doing research in viruses, especially today's talk of the day, that is the Wuhan Institute of Virology, located in Wuhan in China. These people in that Wuhan Institute of Virology, they are doing a lot of comparative genomics of viruses, because that is a special research institute for virology, where they are comparing the genomic sequences of viruses, and they analyze the comparative sequences of closely related viruses, and the differences between the group of viruses. All these comparative research studies are going on there. From that only you see that this coronavirus has originated. People are saying like that, but we don't know exactly. And in the early 1980s, first comparative genome study started in viruses. That is the first virus is Picorona viruses. They are all a group of RNA viruses, and they compared the closely related viruses. That is, it's a comparative genomic study of viruses. And then later on, they extended the same comparative research study to plants also. That is cowpea mosaic viruses. Cowpea mosaic virus, we see that this virus attacks the plants, like tobacco mosaic virus. And you see that they compared the sequences of genomic sequences of cowpea mosaic virus with other plant viruses, and similarly genomics of RNA viruses compared with closely related RNA viruses, DNA viruses compared to DNA viruses. So later on, you see that so many people started doing comparative research study on these areas. And in 1995, Haemophilus influenza virus, an influenza virus that is coming under the family of coronaviruses, and you see that the today's corona COVID-19 is also coming under that family, and they're all having closely related genomic sequences. Of course, one scientist in China, he has said that early January itself, said that he published the genomic content of this coronavirus, but nobody took care about that at that time. But now people have started analyzing the genomic of coronavirus, and they are trying to produce vaccines for that. Once if you know the genomic background of a organism, then only you can able to some fruitful research on that. Then Mycoplasma genitalium, that is a bacteria. In that also, is that they have done is that let us now go to this comparative genomics of bacteria. That is, they are also prokaryotes like viruses. So if you see the comparative genomic studies of bacteria, the first study was done in Mycoplasma genitalium, a bacterium. In that they started sequencing in 1980s, early 1980s. Then you see that they started comparing the closely related bacterial sequences. Then after that, in Bacillus anthracis, another bacteria, which is the causative agent for anthrax, and that Bacillus anthracis was compared with its closely related strain, Bacillus cereus. Both are closely related strains. And you see the genomics of these two closely related bacterial species were compared. This is the comparative genomic study of a bacterial population. Then after that, till date, several bacterial species have been analyzed by comparative genomics. I'll give one more example also. Treponema palladium, that is a bacterium which causes syphilis, and that is compared with its closely related bacterial strain, Treponema perturium. These two closely related strains were compared with its sequences, and you see that the data are available in the website online. It is available. So today we are having a lot of website tools for doing this kind of comparative genomic study, and the results can be published online. And you see that bacterial species are being analyzed for comparison of the sequences or the differences between the sequences. All these things can be done very well. Let me tell you about the comparative genomics of eukaryotes. In eukaryotes, the first eukaryote which was taken for comparative study was the yeast, our common yeast, the baker's yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. And this is compared with another eukaryotic organism, and I see that the results are readily available now. Then see that they have done a lot of comparative genome study in eukaryotes. I'll give you some of the examples. You see that the comparative study of the yeast, the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, with the fruit fly, Drosophila melanogaster. The genome of these two eukaryotes have been compared, and the results are available. Then very important comparative study, that is the comparison of human beings, that is humans, with the yeast, the Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Why we have to compare a yeast with human being? Because yeast is having several genomes of human population, that is the human genome. So the comparative study will give you a lot of new informations, new findings. So that is what they have done. Then the comparison of humans with the mouse. The mouse is the another that very important mammal, and that mammal is having almost more than 95% similarity in the genome sequence with the human beings. Then another important comparative study is between humans and chimpanzees. They are 99%, even 99.9% close related with human beings. So all these comparative studies on eukaryotes have been done today. And you see that even the people have started doing comparative study of a population, that is called population genetic study. That is also going on now today, and everyone can engage themselves in that, and you can come with a lot of newer and newer findings, and you can share it to the entire world for understanding the evolutionary background of our human population. That will help you a lot, not only for you, it will help you a lot to the entire globe to understand our evolutionary origins. Another comparative study what we have with us is the comparative genomic study of subcellular organisms. Everyone knows that our gene sequence or DNA in the form of chromosome is present inside the nucleus of the cells. But in the subcellular organelles, we don't find any genome sequence or DNA except two subcellular organelles. One is mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. That mitochondria is having a separate, its own separate DNA sequence that has originated from through evolution. Maybe that is absent in prokaryotes, but it is developed through evolution in eukaryotes. The mitochondrial DNA. This mtDNA is having a lot of significance, importance to study about this genomic sequence of mtDNA. This mtDNA is having the gene sequences for mitochondrial metabolic enzymes, then ETC, electron transport chain proteins, electron carrier proteins, all these informations are there in this mtDNA. So the mtDNA of one organism can be compared with the mtDNA of another organism. From that, we can able to find out who has come from which particular common ancestor. So for that, we have to compare the mtDNA sequences of both organisms. So this is something about a very wonderful that talks about the comparative genomics of subcellular organs. That subcellular organs. Subcellular organs, that is mitochondrial, mtDNA comparative study. This is one area where you can do a lot of magic. The next one, the second subcellular organism, that subcellular organelle, which contains DNA sequences, our chloroplast of plants. Chloroplast, that is involved in photosynthetic pathway, and you see that the gene sequences of chloroplast DNA is having, you see that the gene information about the carriers of photosystem 1, photosystem 2, all these things. And you see that apart from that, you see that it is having the gene sequences, all the enzymes involved in dark cycle, light cycle, all these things. And you see that this particular chloroplast DNA of one plant species can be compared with chloroplast DNA of another species. Closely related species can also be done, or unrelated species can also be done. From that, we can able to get lot of newer and newer ideas and newer findings, and that will help you a lot, not only to understand the relationship between the plants in the plant kingdom, and at the same time you can find out even the metabolic closeness, the metabolic relationship between the species, that can also be easily found out. See that it is going to give you a lot of newer and newer findings that will help you a lot. So this is another area of comparative genomics. So this comparative genomic analysis can be done very conveniently today, because see that we are having a lot of technological advancements using those say that computerized advancements, the tools or the bioinformatics softwares. This comparative study has become very easy nowadays. And you see that suppose if you are comparing a small sequence like a viral sequence or a bacterial sequence, that can be done in the laboratory, because is that we got a lot of sequencing methods already. We have studied about the different types of sequencing, DNA sequencing methods available, laboratory methods, but they are all time consuming. Suppose if you are going to compare the human sequence with another species, it is the study about entire, that is a huge human genome sequence. That will take a lot of time when you are doing manually. The manual sequence comparison becomes very tough as well as time consuming. So what we can do, we can make it very simple, make it very easy, convenient. Then we can do it in time-bound manner using some of the tools. So today we have a lot of internet-based genome browsers. These browsers provide many useful comparative genomics tools for investigating genomic sequences due to integrating all sequence-based biological information. So I am going to list out some of the common kind of tools, and they are all available, freely available on the net, and we can make use of them for doing our comparative study projects. So we can do a lot of projects on this. So let me list out them one by one. The first one is UCSC browser. This site contains the reference sequences and the working draft assemblies for a large collection of genomes. Next one is ENSEMBL, ENSBL, ENSEMBL. This ENSEMBL project produces genome databases for vertebrates and other eukaryotic species and makes this information freely available online. The next one is MapView, MapView. MapView. The map viewer provides a wide variety of genome mapping and sequencing data. Next one is VISTA, VISTA. It is a comprehensive suite of programs and databases for comparative analysis of genomic sequences. It was built to visualize the results of comparative analysis based on DNA alignments. The presentation of comparative data generated by this can easily suit both small and large scale of data. Then the next one is BlueJ Genome Browser. It is a standalone visualization tool for the multi-scale viewing of annotated genomes and other genomic elements. So the advantages of using online tools is that these websites are being developed and updated constantly in the net. There are many new settings and content can be used online to improve efficiency of these kind of comparative genomics. So I hope that this video session has given you some information, some idea about this comparative genomic study, and still I have strong belief that everyone will enter into this field, and you will try to do some work on that, some project work on that. So with that strong belief, I'm going to end this session, and this session of course will be useful to you, not only to you, you make it useful to everyone in this world. So that is why I'm sharing my ideas here about this comparative genomic study. So with that words, I'm going to conclude that this KNS biochemistry is doing a lot of work on bringing out all this information to the entire world, so that the world population has to get benefit out of this. So don't forget to subscribe to KNS biochemistry. If you forget, nobody is going to lose anything, you are the loser. So please subscribe KNS biochemistry regularly. So I expecting your support every time. So with that support, I'm going to conclude this session. Thank you all. Be safe, stay home, and fight against COVID-19. Jai Hind.